All right, everyone, we get to dive into another list today. A lot of you have been asking for this one, and that is Kanan. This guy has been looking absolutely sweet so far as, well, he is just working with all of the Spectres and creature units out there. And in this case, while we don't have a ton of creatures, we already do have quite a few Spectres, and giving shield tokens at any time is a pretty strong ability. So before we dive into the list and talk more about what's going on with Kanan here, I want to say a big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. And also I have a TCG player link in the description down below for any set 5 cards that you may want. Let's talk about Kanan first. We've got an action to pay 1, give a shield token to a creature or Spectre unit. The creatures that we have in the game right now are on the weaker side. We've had a couple of them from set 5, the aggression ones, but a lot of them are really low on toughness, or I just don't find it's really worth indexing towards them. However, the Spectre side of things, we've got a lot of them so far. A ton of them over the course of the game. So that is what we're really going to be taking advantage of. In fact, we don't even have any creatures in our deck, just Spectre units and some other things going on. Now, why Kanan over something like Ray, for example? Well, as I said, their Spectre units are pretty good, and one of the big payoffs is Ezra. So Ezra's going to give some experience tokens to a bunch of Spectre units. How many Spectre units do we have? We've got Hera, we've got Sabine, we've got Ezra. We have Sabine's Masterpiece, which works amazingly in the deck if you get a Vigilance and Aggression unit. We've got Kanan, we have the Ghost, which works exceptionally well with all the other ones. And we also have Chopper on turn 1. All of which are Spectre units, so a lot of Spectre units, and getting that shield token just anytime you need it is exceptionally powerful. So that's the goal here. In terms of other new set 5 cards, well, we've got Yaddle, which is amazing. 2/4 restore 1, very, very likely to survive, so we can force throw on the following turn, which is going to be amazing. We've got things that, well, as I said, the Spectre units, but that's pretty much it. We're just using Kanan with all the other units that we've had previously. Running Tarkin Town, not doing any sort of force shenanigans. There's no unit in here that actually benefits from the force at all, so there's no reason to do that. Tarkin Town's always been a classic, always been a solid base, and we've seen it do some extreme work. We also have a bunch of Restore with Sabine's Masterpiece, Hera, Restore Arc, Yoda, Luke, all of that stuff, and even Kanan, hopefully is going to give us a bunch of additional restoring. And by the way, little side note, Kanan especially is going to get a lot better with more Spectre units on the board alongside Sabine's Masterpiece. So we're going to see what we could do here. Let's dive into some games and hopefully crush some people with some Kanan. All right, into our first game, and we've got a pretty bad hand. We have a lot of turn 1 plays, and I'm hoping to grab one, and this one's a lot better. We're going to resource, well, Hera and Kanan. Try not to get any two duplicates here. We've got Sabine or Hera as an option. I'm going to go Sabine here on turn 1. I think Sabine tends to be a little bit stronger. Okay, Sabine, easy enough play. We've got Hera. Not going to play probably any of the units here in space because Fireball is just going to kind of naturally die off, which is going to be pretty strong. They've got Village Protectors. I think here what we'll do is we'll just give a shield token over to Sabine. Seems pretty strong for us. And then they won't be able to use Chancellor Palpatine's abilities. We'll pass here. Forces with me looks pretty good, actually, if we are able to get this Kanan down, which is what I want to do this turn. They're attacking here. What are they attacking into? Attacking into Hera. Sure. Let's go ahead and play out the Kanan. I'm playing out Kanan here just because my opponent's going to want to wait to use their Palpatine action, and we are going to attack into... Oh, I should have hit the base with that. Whoops. We are going to want to attack into Village Protectors, just try to get as much value going as possible. Attacking with Hera, they're going to flip. We're going to claim initiative, and, well, we are probably going to deploy something here. Cassian going to go to the resource pile. We could heal a lot here with a Kanan attack, and I think that's what we want to start off with, is just attacking with Kanan. Trigger, we get to discard multiple cards, which means we heal a ton of different damage. Really, really nice there. Let's go to attack in with Sabine here. Remember, Kanan can come down next turn, so they're going to be able to go ahead and drop in their Clone Trooper here, which looks pretty good. Let's see. Let's go with Sabine's Masterpiece here. And we're probably going to take out this Concord Dawn Interceptors just because we are going to force throw our opponent. See what they discard. Hopefully they hit a 4-drop so we don't even have to use Tarkin Town. So we'll Tarkin Town away, and then we can put a shield token on the Kanan. Really, really nice usage of our resources here. Obi-Wan's a great draw. We have forces with me, which is great. Again, Kanan's going to come down and be a big unit. They're going to Anakin. Sure, they're going to -3/-3 the Kanan. Oh, wow. I did not expect them to go that direction, but they can do whatever, to be honest. Let's go ahead and deploy Kanan. It's going to be a 5/8 with a shield token. Okay, they're going to hit some damage onto my Kanan. Let's go ahead and attack in with Kanan for 5. Let's play Obi-Wan. And then we can make them discard a couple cards in their deck. Discard Super Laser Blast. So they are playing Super Laser Blast. I was kind of curious about that. We will pass. Yaddle, go into the resource pile. Don't think we care about Yaddle all that much anymore. We have a pretty nice situation going on. No glory only results, huh? That's pretty nice for our opponent. Let's go with the forces with me into the base for a ton of damage. No glory only results is massively strong there. Let's go with the Kanan attack. Trigger, discard a couple cards. We got Avenger, Chilton. They have to claim initiative. We can deploy the Yoda. We've got Lukes. We got lots of Lukes here. These shield tokens are obnoxious, guys. These shield tokens are obnoxious. Do they have a Rival's Fall? Because they can't play Super Laser Blast on this turn because they're on heroism side of things. Rival's Fall. Okay, they've got Rival's Fall. That is exactly what they needed. So they managed to do it. Let's go ahead and attack in for 4. Make them discard a couple cards. They've had basically all the answers that they could possibly want. And yet we're still going to be winning the game here. They're going to attack in for 7. We are going to drop in a Cassian Andor, which is going to be immediately readied up. And that means that they are dead here if they have nothing else. Boom. 3 in. That's GG. Pretty awesome first game. Anakin doing some major work. Let's move on to the next one. Into the next game, we got ourselves a pretty good hand. We got Yaddle here, and we also have the Ezra, which I do like. We'll see if this Yaddle is functioning right now. Hopefully it is. That's a Dr. Evazan here. Yaddle coming in and actually is able to survive the Dr. Evazan attack, which hopefully is going to work out quite nicely for us. We've got a Hera and a Ghost. I think what we'll do is get rid of the Ghost for now. Ezra coming down makes a lot of sense for us here. We'll see what they've got, though. Dr. Evazan can really be used to our advantage. And, oh, let me move myself back down over here. Sorry. I messed up the first game. I apologize for that. They've got a Death Watch Loyalist. Okay, let's go ahead and just get in and attack. I think actually what we want to do is just play out the Ezra Bridger. If they want to ready up the Death Watch Loyalist and then attempt to attack in with it, we can always just Tarkin Town away the Loyalist. And I think that's going to be kind of our game plan here. Yep, let's just go Tarkin Town here on the Death Watch Loyalist. Just get rid of it. And we'll see what my opponent wants to do afterwards. Hera looking pretty good here, actually. Let's go ahead and claim initiative here. And let's utilize our resources immediately. Okay, we got Yaddle. We're going to resource that, of course. We're going to use our resources immediately because we want to be able to potentially refresh everything. Although we really can't get that much value out of the additional resources because we don't have anything to play with it. I guess we could have kept the Yaddle. But I don't really think that's like an amazing game plan to go with. Okay, let's go ahead and just put a shield token on Ezra. I know I could put a shield token on Yaddle, but, well, it's not that strong. Or I couldn't put a shield token on Yaddle, but I'm not really that worried about what's going on here. They're going to take out Yaddle. We're just going to claim initiative because I would like to play Poe Dameron and then ready up all my resources, hopefully make a bunch of plays next turn. They're going to go keep fighting, huh? Wow. Okay, so they're just going to be trading off a bunch of units. I don't actually think that's all that great for them. Like, we have a shielded Ezra. Our leader's better than theirs. They're getting to the late game. We're going to be deploying more important things than them. I think this is super us favored overall. So I'm actually not really all that worried. I'm a little bit surprised they had to keep fighting, plus the Dr. Ev is on, and then we're trading off a bunch of units, but they're just conceding. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, we just had so much more value than them, and they can't get anywhere with it. Into the next game, we've got ourselves a pretty reasonable hand here. Nice little Spectre curve up against the double yellow Qui-Gon. I'm a little bit scared about this one, guys. It could be that double yellow Qui-Gon we played the other day, and that deck can do some crazy things up against any list in general, but, well, hopefully they're not going to do something too crazy. We've got Sabine Wren. They've got the Force already with Youngling Padawan, which is pretty strong. They could do a lot of different things. We got Yaddle here. We're going to easily just go ahead and resource them. We'll see what my opponent decides to do. They can't really attack the Sabine and then expect us to not just go ahead and get some value out of that. So we'll see what they do. We should be able to knock out their Youngling Padawan for basically free, but no guarantee. Okay, they're going to attack. We're just going to knock out the Youngling Padawan. They're going to sneak attack Kira out, huh? Let's see what they decide to do. Sneak attacking on this turn. They're going to name Sabine's Masterpiece. That's actually okay with us because we're just going to put a shield on Sabine and then play to Restored Arc. So not too bad of a play here. Pretty happy with this, honestly. We're going to get a shielded up. Oh, they're going to claim initiative. Yeah, that was not a great sneak attack. You really, really do not want to be sneak attacking out things when you don't have the ability to bounce that unit and get some value from it. So I thought they were going to be able to bounce Kira and play like an Ezra or something like that. But because that is not the case, the game feels like it's over for my opponent. Honestly, that's kind of where I'm feeling like we're at. We're going to get a bunch of value here. We can play Ezra Shield or Kanan and just drop a Kanan in. They've got Cunning. Ooh, yeah. Just exhausting and making a discard is just not that strong. We're going to drop a Kanan in, and I mean, we're deploying to the board. They have a kind of temporary option to really get ahead here, and unfortunately, they haven't really been able to do that. Let's see what they've got next. 5 drops. Could be Cantina Bouncer. Cantina Bouncer into Ahsoka. Still very, very strong play. Ideally, I would knock out the Cantina Bouncer, but I don't really have an option to do so. Ether Sprite, not really going to be all that great, especially since it's not really functioning right now. I'm going to go Ezra plus Hera here. Just deploy a bunch of Spectres. It's going to be 4 total Spectre units, which Kanan's going to discard 4. And we're going to see how many points it can heal. Probably just 2. Yep, just 2. We discard a double Anakin, Cunning. Let's go ahead and heal, attack, get some damage in. Sure. We got a Podameron. We got another Hera. Podameron and take down, both solid units. Technically, they could double use a when played ability twice in this turn. Let's say they had the Ether Sprite. It's not functioning right now, but if they play something, I'm going to act as if they do get the double when played trigger. Let's go ahead and get an attack in, and I will give an experience token to the Sabine here. And then we'll see what my opponent's got. We can put a shield token and play Podameron in this turn, which is probably what I'm going to be doing. Deploying Qui-Gon Jinn. All right, let's attack in with Hera then. Get in with the small units, since those are the ones that they can knock out. Plo Koon coming in, knock out Kanan. Sure. Let's go ahead and attack their base. We can finish off Plo Koon with Tarkin Town here. They're going to attack in for 4. What are you going to attack, opponent? Okay, they're going to knock out the Hera. Makes sense. Bounce Plo Koon. Luke Skywalker. Sure. Let's go ahead and give a shield token to Ezra. Attack. Play Podameron. And we'll pass. So no double up on the when played abilities here for my opponent with the Obi-Wan's Ether Sprite. but we have a million units on board, all of which are pretty much lethal. Like Ezra attacking pumps up Sabine. Kanan and Poe are just straight up lethal, but all of them are actually lethal because of the forces with me. So even if they have a Plo Koon here, that's going to trade with the Poe Dameron. Every single one of my units is lethal here, so it does not matter whatsoever. Boom, attacking for 5, and that's a GG to my opponent. All right, into our next matchup. We got ourselves a matchup against Double Blue Towson, which looks like a pretty fun one. We're going to resource the Cassian here and the big ghost. I like the smaller ghost. Giving Sentinel to everything is pretty massive. Towson's Assassin is pretty good as well, so we will see what... Oh, they're just going to take initiative here on turn 1. Okay, that's fine. We're going to resource the forces with me here. I think I'd rather keep the units here. I'm not quite sure what my opponent's doing. I don't know if they're playing like a full control deck, or if I don't know if they're playing like value oriented deck. Okay, they have played Karis. Sure. Do I want to play Sabine's Masterpiece and prevent them from using the force? I think so. I think I do want to do that. Let's go ahead and attack Karis, but hit their base. And then we can finish this off so they can't use the force, and then give a shield token to Sabine. Actually, I should have done that in reverse. And the reason I should have done that in reverse is because with the Towson, if they get the force, then they won't be able, or they will be able to kill my Sabine, which is not something that I want. So they're going to force choke here and then get the force and then finish it off with Towson. That's exactly what I was talking about. So now shield token was basically worthless. So definitely in normal matchups, I would rather sequence it as the way I sequenced it, because I'd rather have a low toughness unit, but with shield token on it. But in this particular situation, I would have rather done the opposite so that I could avoid getting hit by the Towson. So definitely a little bit of a mistake there for me. Looks like they are playing a more force-based Night Sisters deck, so I don't know what to really expect at certain points. We haven't really seen anything because they missed their turn 1 play, because no Karis or anything like that. Fet's Fire Spray. Whoa. That's a little bit odd. I definitely wouldn't have expected that to come out. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and drop a Restored Arc here. Attack. I'll play Poe Dameron. I'm actually going to knock out this Fet's Fire Spray here. So we're going to go Poe Dameron. I'll attack the Fet's Fire Spray. Heal 2 damage from the base. Deal 1 damage to the Fet's Fire Spray. Knock that out, and they're conceding. Okay, so GG. We just kind of outvalued them, and we should have even done even better because I mis-sequenced the Karis attack. But yeah, that wasn't even close. Jeez. Into our next matchup, we've got another matchup up against a new leader in Third Sister. Had to mulligan that first hand. Pretty bad hand. No turn 1 plays. But this one looks a good amount better. I'm going to resource the Ghost, and I think I'm going to resource probably this Restore. Actually, the Concord Dawn looks like the one I want to restore. I'm not actually sure what my opponent's going to be doing here. Third Sister could be a lot of different directions, so I'm kind of curious to see what they've kind of come up with. They do have ECL, which is always something to be aware of, but, well, we'll see. Hera going to be the play here. They get a Sith Legionnaire, which isn't that fantastic. We're going to pass here. We've got another Luke and a Poe Dameron as the draws. Not exactly the greatest draws, but it's okay. We can shield token, attack into the Sith Legionnaire with our Hera, and then played Restored Arc, which I think looks pretty good. Depending on what they play. Ooh. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to be doing. Let's go ahead and give a shield token to our Hera here. Let's go ahead and attack and kill off the Death Star Stormtrooper, actually. And then play the Restored Arc. We'll pass. Got a Sabine. Got a Kanan. I think I actually don't want to be playing big old units like Poe Dameron in this matchup. So I'm going to resource that. And I'd rather go for the Restorers and kind of develop the Spectre synergies that I've got going on right now. So I think I'd rather go that direction. We'll see. They have to have a villainy unit here. Otherwise, their Sith Legionnaire just dies to the Hera. Okay, so they do. That's fine. I am just going to trade off at this point. Preserve some HP. I think my Hera's gotten enough value at this point. Attack in. Let's play a Kanan and let's pass. Ezra, another Kanan. Okay, I think I like the Ezra here. I'm going to resource the Kanan because I would like to make a double play here with Ezra Sabine or Sabine's Masterpiece plus Sabine. Kanan does kill third sister or fifth brother. Third sister does come down with hidden eye, if I remember correctly. So that's something that we can't necessarily do. Okay, they're going to attack. I am just going to trade off here. What do we discard? Forced choke. So I got a little bit of healing there. Not bad. Tempted to put a shield token on here. They got a Darth Maul, huh? Okay, Darth Maul comes down. We're going to attack in for 2. Darth Maul can be pretty powerful. Could have Tarkin Town, but I'm glad I did it in the direction I did it. So let's go Sabine's Masterpiece here. And I think what I want to do is actually put a shield token on Kanan. This is a little bit of a risky play, depending on what my opponent has. But I do like this direction a little bit more. Now, ECL is going to be less likely to really get some thing going. Like, they could have Kylo, which would be something that I would expect them to be playing. They got a Fallen Lightsaber here, huh? Okay, so what we'll do is we are going to knock third sister down a little bit. They got OB in their deck, which obviously is something that should be pretty expected. I'm going to hit third sister for 4 here. They're going to open fire. We're going to attack in for 2. I'm going to deploy Kanan. It's a 5/8 shield. It's going to be able to knock out third sister. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hit third sister here. Going to go play a Sabine and then a Kanan. Attack in. We're going to heal 2 damage. Deal a damage to Darth Maul. Pass. That's a lot of Ezras. That's a lot of Ezras. Our opponent had a very aggressive start. But we have a very big board with a lot of restore. So unless they're going to be able to win the game this turn, it's going to look pretty bad for them. It's going to look pretty bad for them. Let's go ahead and just immediately get in an attack with the Kanan. Hopefully heal a lot here. We got to heal 3. So another Fallen Lightsaber is pretty good for them. Of course, double Fallen Lightsaber can be a little bit scary. They can't play Overwhelming Barrage, but they can attack base. They can attack multiple units as well. Which is totally fine because we can finish off the unit with Tarkin Town or Luke. So attacking a bunch of units doesn't really do the job for them. So I'm okay with this. We have, as I said, lots of restore. So we're going to get out of range from dying. As you can see, we've already restored so much between Kanan and Sabine's Masterpiece and Restored Arc and all this good stuff. What do they just do? Timely out their units? Sure. I suppose. Okay, they're going to claim initiative. We're just going to drop a Luke and finish off the Darth Maul. Keep our Tarkin Town around. Doesn't really make sense to use it, honestly, even though we could absolutely use it. And that's going to be GG. Very, very aggressive start from my opponent. But we kind of just outvalued them across the board. Even though they had Fallen Lightsaber, which is a massive, massive deal, they still weren't able to get there. If we got a Rivals Fall, that game would have been completely over. We just Rivals Fall their leader and hit the Fallen Lightsaber as well. But still, we managed to get there. A ton of restore in this deck. Kanan, if you guys didn't know, Kanan, we don't really mention this, but usually Kanan's like heal 1, heal 2, because you discard 1 card for each friendly Spectre unit. Now, usually they're going to have 1 to 2 different aspects, but in a dual aspect deck with command, villainy, aggression options, you could potentially discard 2, 3, 4 cards when you have a bunch of Spectre units, and you could potentially heal a ton of damage, 3 on an attack, which is incredible. Restore 3 is incredible on a Kanan, right? That is massive. So that's really what's doing it for us, guys. Really, really strong there. All right, and we got for one of our final games, a Kanan Mirror. Pretty exciting here. Horrible hand. Hopefully we get some good plays to start off with. Okay, this is a little bit better. I'm going to resource the Ghost and the Force is with me here because I'm going to have a Hera on turn 1 and then ideally something better to play on turn 2. I'm hoping for like a force unit. Ooh, that is delicious. Love the Ezra, love the Yaddle. Great hits here. Attack in with Hera. I know I can restore 1, but that's okay because I have the initiative. I want to keep the initiative, and based on what's going on here, I'm pretty happy with what we got. So let's go ahead and claim initiative. And we've got the Ghost. We got a restored Arc. I think what I'll do is just force throw myself, discarding the Ghost to finish off the Sabine's Masterpiece, and then we'll play out the Yaddle. Force is with me, get in for 5. That's okay. We are going to attack in with Ezra, get an experience token. Ezra is a Jedi, which means Yaddle can give restore 1. We're going to go ahead and put a shield token on Ezra. We've got a Sabine Wren here. Not bad, but not great by any means. We do need like a takedown or a rival's fall realistically. We don't want to take too much damage here over the course of time. I really hope Yaddle's... Ooh, that's the Ghost here. Okay. Does Yaddle's restore work? But her restore on the other units doesn't necessarily work. Okay, so Kanan coming down. We're going to put an experience token on Kanan. We're going to pass. There's an Obi-Wan. Not bad. Not bad. We have a big ground force with a lot of restore. A lot of restore. Okay. That isn't too bad for my opponent. Let's go ahead and drop off our own Obi-Wan here. They're going to get in for 10 damage here, which is going to be pretty nice. We are going to attack in, give an experience token over to Kanan. Tarkin Town away the unit here. Let's Tarkin Town away the Obi-Wan. And then we actually have lethal on board for the rest of the units. So that's going to be GG. I mean, they can give Sentinel to Kanan. That is an option for sure. And that's what they're going to take. They're going to get in. Makes sense. Let's go ahead and get in an attack. I guess, do we have enough restore to actually outpace them? I don't know if we do. Let's go ahead and deploy Kanan. Let's go ahead and get in an attack with our small version of Kanan. Ooh, what do we restore? Only 2? Ooh, that's a little bit unlucky. And that's not going to be enough. That's going to be GG. Although, if we had Yaddle, we would have probably won. Actually, we would have definitely won with the Rival's Fall draw. So, this is kind of a unfortunate circumstance. If Yaddle was working, we could have sequenced the attacks to give restore 1 to every other Jedi, and that would have restored an additional 1, 2, 3 points of damage, right? That's massive. And we would have restored another one earlier, which would have been 4. We would have had enough HP to survive the Ghost attack, and then we would have been able to Rival's Fall away the A-Wing and then close out the game from there. But without the Yaddle restore, we weren't able to get there. So this one comes down to just a bug of the cards. Of course, our opponent could have maybe had a different play if my Yaddle had the restore passing out to all the other Jedi. But, well, that wasn't the case necessarily on this situation. So not too bad. I guess we wouldn't have attacked with Ezra first, so we would have only gotten the restore 2 because Ezra had to attack to get rid of that Obi-Wan. So realistically, we would have had just barely enough HP to get the Ghost not to finish us off that turn. So anyways, really sweet matchup though, and a good game up against our opponent here with the pretty aggressive start. All right, so what did we learn with Kanan? My goodness, this guy's pretty sweet, actually. We didn't get to see any chopper draws, which is unfortunate. Really sweet looking card, by the way. We got to see some power of the Yaddle. We got to see some power of like getting a bunch of Spectres and restoring with Kanan. Obviously, these Spectres are starting to become really big, okay? They're starting to become absolutely obnoxious. The shield tokens gave us a lot of value throughout the game. This deck has a lot of restore in it, to be honest. And between Sabine's Masterpiece, Yoda, Restored Arc, Yaddle, Kanan, all of which restore, you can honestly just race. If your opponent goes all space, you can just race, even with the 25 HP base and not utilizing Tarkin Town. which is pretty insane. So that's really, really awesome to see. Kanan coming down as a 5/8 shielded for 6. It's a lot of power. It's a lot of power and puts on a lot of pressure to your opponent. It's almost always a 5/8 with shielded, which is really, really nice. Forces with we wouldn't really get to see, but I do think that card is pretty awesome and very, very awesome in terms of being able to get some major value generated. The shield token from Kanan's ability came in clutch a ton to generate more value. Realistically, every single card in here I felt like really did its work. The only one that I wasn't super convinced by was Takedown, actually. Takedown didn't really fit with what we wanted to go with, I think. I think you could probably go with a little bit more, well, tempo-oriented, more, I guess, leaning towards more aggressive plays. Jedi Lightsaber might be a good addition. It goes well on Kanan. It goes well on Ezra. It goes well on, Yaddle, Yoda, Kanan, small version. Like, there's so many targets for Jedi Lightsaber. Maybe even more forces with me's. Lots of options there. But overall, we did some major work. I'm excited to play more with Set 5, guys. Let me know what you think about Kanan in the comment section down below. And I will see you all for a video tomorrow.